Oh, hey, Tanya.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Anthony. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, hon. Doing great.
Well, good. We want to welcome everyone to Financial Sins, where we are. What are we doing today? We're going to be in here talking about credit and something that we did last week. And so we're bringing it back again this week. And we are so excited that we're going to have a husband and wife team. And guess what, Anthony? We don't
What's
have
that?
Flo with us today.
Say that again.
We don't have Flo with us today.
I know that hurts.
That
That
hurt.
hurts. She better be watching.
I hope so. So she's out today visiting in
Hmm.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, she's visiting the grands. She's babysitting.
Those beautiful grandchildren. Just excited about our show today. Again, we want to welcome everyone to Financial Sins. I am Tanya Scott Pilcher, and I am a licensed insurance agent where we have a business that does people that are interested in getting into this $1 trillion industry. It is an awesome business, and we are training people and coaching them on how to pass that insurance exam. So I'm in Atlanta this week doing a course. It started on Saturday and Sunday of last week, and we have the last 2 days this week. And then we'll be back at home on Monday preparing for our next class, which is July 24th and 25th, July 31st and August 1st, that we're going to be doing out at the Empowerment Center in Garden City. Thanks to Mr. Carl
Wow.
Gilliard. We appreciate his support. So what's going on with you, Anthony?
I'm just enjoying everything that you're doing.
I'm
You
excited.
know, it sounds really exciting. Um, I tell you what, I'm just excited to be here. I'm glad to be part of this land breaking moment, ice breaking opportunity on all things relevant media. All right. And Financial Sins is just really powerful. And I'm Anthony Murray. I'm a licensed insurance agent as well. And I've been in the industry, in and out of the industry, I should say, since early days, since 1980 something. My college major was actually insurance and real estate. What I'm going to do, I'm going to ask all you folks that's watching to reach out to a friend, let them know that we're here because you know somebody that needs some financial help. You know someone who needs some wisdom in their credit. All right. They need to get a few things squared up and straightened out and fixed or repaired or whatever the case may be. You know someone. So hey, send them a a tweet or send them a text or give them a quick phone call and let them know to get on because this power couple that we have coming on in a few moments, uh, they're going to lay down some stuff for us. All right. So I'm really looking forward. You were asking, what am I up to? I'm really looking forward to hearing them conclude uh, uh, what they have to say about credit repair. It was really interesting last week um, as the wife was sharing, the husband was typing in the comments real quick, just typing in. And so we were getting a lot less. I just want to know, who's this man? Same last name, different first name. And then she came out and told us it's her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband. And so that was really good. And they're a couple, that just goes to show you the power of doing things together, being in agreement, being in harmony, and doing it together.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about what Tanya and her husband's doing. We ought to have him on. When is he going to get on, Tanya?
That time's coming up really soon, probably sometime in September. He'll be on and ready to go. Right now, he's just kind of busy, just doing.
Got a lot of things going on.
He does have a lot going on, and but we're here this week, just turning it out, and again, bringing financial freedom into the life of some 8 individuals in our classes. So it is just an awesome thing.
Man, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got another 9 or 10 that's going to show up in Savannah. So
wow.
we're expanding and booming in this business. And then, just to be able, it keeps you humble because you're really taking someone's career into your life or into what you're doing to help them advance. We're excited about what we're doing here. And I'm excited about today's show. I went and started doing a little research. I know how long it took me to get my credit in order. Yeah. And, it's one of those things that we don't value when we're young, that, when we're on that college campus, they give you that credit card and you do all kinds of things. And later on, it really does hurt you. So, it's taken years. And then not on top of, what you do to your credit yourself, then you go into debt with financial loans from school. We go into debt with buying cars that we can't afford. And we go into debt with credit cards. So now as you get older, it's time to get out of debt.
Hey, look, just the misuse of money, even in our middle age, a lot of us just misuse money. We spend. That was my problem. Just the spending, you got an extra buck. All right, let's spend.
Right.
Save 1% of it, spend 99% of it. Saving 1% not going to help you.
No, it's
not going to help you. So it may help you to go to the movies later on. But if you have a crisis, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. You got to learn how to save money.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, middle age, I would say 40s, 50s, 60s, even into the 70s, have never really developed a saving habit. If they don't have a 401k at work or some type of plan at work where the company takes that money out and they don't see it in the check, then, hey, there it goes. That money's being spent. So
like I was saying last week, can you imagine a 70-year-old being in financial issues, having financial issues, and so we have got to just change our community. We just need to begin to save, and by any means necessary. We had the pandemic to affect us, and so many people lose jobs, businesses. And now they are struggling, and the government can see that. And that's how come I guess they're still trying to pass out plenty of money somewhere. It keeps missing my hands, but they keep passing out money.
Yeah, I heard there's supposed to be another stimulus check. I haven't seen it. I don't know what it looks like, but
somebody about tax credit and children, right?
I did see one of those checks, but I didn't see the other. So it's life goes on.
Yeah, but remember, some of that will still pass over. Those of us that's probably over 50, 55, because we don't have small children.
Yeah, okay.
Me, but we don't have small children anymore. So just look at what they're doing with this child credit thing that they're helping or helping with. So it's just something different, And if we would have saved or put something away, they did allow you to take money out of your 401ks in order to survive with smaller tax things that'll hurt you tax wise. So we were able to do some of that if you had it, but there were so many people that did not have that.
That didn't have it.
Yep. So, so, again, we're just excited to have everyone joining. I see, of course, Anthony, I got to put a yell out to my family. I got
please.
My cousin Keisha on out of North Carolina, my cousin James on out of Florida.
Florida, yeah.
My aunties and one of my other sisters on that's right here in Atlanta. My auntie Jackie. Hadn't seen my mom get on yet, but I am so excited to have all of my other sisters that have not even put their names in, and they said that they were going to join today. So, I'm here by myself. So
there you go.
And just want to say thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your support. We need your support every day, and I'm just glad that you all are here. I have some of my classmates from Fort Valley State sitting in the background sending text messages now. So I just thank everyone for your support and being here, because we have a lot to share, and with us being, we're really insurance agents, but then we kind of hit that financial side of our business, and we want to share with you how to do things better, and it's a shame that we're not teaching our kids this. And in my class that we had last week, one of the things the young lady was saying is that this should have been taught in high school. This should have been taught in college, because we don't know even how to properly get our health insurance or life insurance on our jobs when it's being offered to us at a very young age. On your first job in, did you even understand what you were buying or selecting when you went on to your first job? And that's absolutely not. And so one of those things that we're kind of looking at now is how we can bring this information into the school system, because it's very important. It's a reason why most of us keep a job, is because we want to have some sort of health insurance. But even if they don't now, we have affordable health care out there, where affordable health care can give you a full major medical insurance without having a job, in the corporate world. But that's something else that is out here now that people aren't taking advantage of. They are completely just letting it go. And hey, COVID should have taught you something, that you need to have some type of healthcare system in place when you're dealing with your health and trying to find out what's going on with you. So everyone needs to have health insurance of some sort too, so this is it's going to be part of the expansion of us doing the different things that we're going to do in the community, and opening up the classroom doors for everyone to learn how to what's a deductible, what's a co-payment, what's co-insurance, and dealing with the insurance products that you have on the job or that you lack because you don't know anything about them.
Right. That's powerful. That's beautiful. In our one of the things we do with World System Builder, we have free financial literacy workshops held online 7 days a week, free. All right. And you're talking about bringing them to the school system. We've gone into Harvard University, Columbia University, a host of high schools throughout the United States. And it's something that is very important, especially for the teenage years. One of the things that happens to teenagers when they go to college, they're freshmen. And, during orientation, as they're viewing the campus, guess who has a booth set up? Credit card companies.
Oh, yeah.
And they give these kids thousands of dollars, sometimes just hundreds of dollars, $500 credit limit, $1,000, $2,000 credit limit. But all in all, there's thousands of dollars being given, and These kids don't know anything about credit cards, right? What do? I got free money. I'm going shopping. I'm going out to eat. Oh, my payment's only $7. It's only $10. It's only $15. So excuse me. What happens? The psychology of America is to teach people how to spend money. That's the psychology. Let me teach you how to spend money. And let me remind you to spend your money, not to save it. So we have billboards that's encouraging spending, commercials that encourage spending at a restaurant, spending on some clothes because it's this holiday or that holiday, or this holiday sale has extended. All right, get an additional 15% off. Right. And then how are you supposed to cope with that? Because a lot of people just don't know how to say no. All right. Mm-hmm. Instead, what do? We spend. Yeah. Hey, look, our guests are ready to come on. Okay. Let's bring them on. They are here ready to come on. They're not here. They're not here. They're not here yet. No. Oh boy. All right. Well, I think we're going to have to send a message, and because they're busy helping people, and so
okay. Well, I mean, it's not a conversation that we haven't had, Anthony. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that we already know about repairing your credit is that we all need to do it. That's number one, right?
That's right.
And number two, the main thing that we need to do is we need to find out what's on it, right? And so we can every year get a credit report. Mm-hmm. And so I think our group and the young people that are going to be on with us today are going to show us and tell us how. But right now, we need to know that you can get a credit report, mm-hmm. so that you can see what the negative information is on your report. And that's right. Absolutely no charge to you. So starting out by number one, getting a credit report. Mm-hmm. I depend on Credit Karma or something like that to look at and give me a highlight of what's going on. But I can actually pull a report from each one of the agencies, and to mm-hmm. have that information is great. Mm-hmm. And then there are certain things that you need to do in order to get those negative things off your report if they are not true. So.
Well, no, that's true, because years ago. All right, y'all. All right, I'm in my 60s. So when I say years ago, I mean years ago. All right. I tried to one of my friends and I tried to open up a credit repair. This is before it was really popular. Right. And I was working in the industry in the credit collections. So I was familiar with what people needed to do. And so we tried to open up our own thing, and it flopped. We didn't give it enough time. We didn't give it enough time. We did not ask people for wisdom and opening this thing up properly. But nevertheless, we learned a lot. And I found out something very valuable. If you could keep good documentation and write these people that it's affecting your credit, if you could write them, if you refute it, guess what? If you refute it enough, depending on what type of credit issue it is, guess what they'll do? They'll take it off your credit. All right. So, and then you have to understand something. If you have a lot of bad credit, you know what a lot of a lot of credit bureaus would do, they would, in years ago, they would do this. I can't say they still do this, but they would use your name as a dumping ground. And oh yeah, and you'll find a whole bunch of stuff on your credit report that wasn't yours at all. And so you need to check your credit, and anything that you don't recognize, refute it.
Right.
Refute it. I mean, you send a letter, and if the government gives them a certain length of time to respond and to prove that it's yours. And if they can't do that within that period of time, by law, they have to remove it. And so I found out some really valuable things there. Not that I've always used them for myself, but I did learn them nevertheless.
That's right.
What Tanya said really is very relevant to even to today. You need to pull your credit report. Pull it. There's 3 credit bureaus. Pull your credit.
That's right. And you can go to one source. I think it's called annualcreditreport.com. And there's also a telephone number, and hopefully we can get that up, that they can call and get your credit report for Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion.
Right.
So get a copy every 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And what you got to also remember, you guys, is that your credit affects everything. So
that's
even
right.
Applying for a job, it affects your job. These people that are getting their insurance license, it's going to affect your ability to get licensed, to get your insurance license, because if you're in
bankruptcy,
debt and bankruptcy, then they're going to look at you a little differently in giving you an insurance license.
Yeah.
So even though it's a lucrative business, that is the same reason they may not give you your insurance license is because of your credit.
Mm-hmm.
Your auto insurance, your homeowner's insurance, all of those things are looked at based on your credit. So sometimes your rates are a little higher when you're getting your auto insurance, and you're like, well, wow, it's so expensive. Well, it's because sometimes your credit is bad, and those things are affected. So you need to really take a look at cleaning your credit up. Can you do it?
All right. Hey, listen, that's powerful. And I hope you guys are taking good notes. Look, we have a couple of credit experts who currently have an agency or business where that's all they do. They're joining us now, Quentin and Monina. Did I say that right? Because last week it was just Mo.
Well, yes, sir. Right? It is Mo.
All right. Yeah. Quentin and Monina Morris. All right. And you guys are out of Savannah?
We're out of Savannah. We're
currently out of Savannah. Can anything good come out of Savannah?
Savannah, it's a lot of good stuff come out of Savannah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Tanya comes out of Savannah. Flo comes out.
Okay, so we'll tell you that we are out of town, and I double booked. I thought that I wasn't considering the time difference.
Yes.
So excuse us. We are multitasking.
Wow. What state are you in?
We are in Nevada.
Nevada.
Yes, sir.
That's a 3 hour difference.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, 2 hour difference, right? Or is it 3 hours?
It's
three.
Oh, so it's a little early there. So okay, well, talk to us real quick, and then we'll just pick up after you guys finish.
Okay.
Hey, Quentin, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah. It's good to put a face with the
all the chatting.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to start off real quick is making double payments on your credit card bills. Yeah, and if you can possibly make that payment close to your due date.
It's 15 and 3.
15 and
3.
Yeah. And that really show the creditor that you have made.
15 to 3. What was that?
You want to
okay. Yes. Okay. So if you can make your payments 15 days before your payment due date, you do half of your payment, and then 3 days before the due date, you do the other half. It tricks the system into thinking that it got 2 payments.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's called a 15-3 rule. It tricks the system. So whatever, and most of our credit cards probably, if you have them, have different due dates. The homework we have to do is find out that due date for that credit card. You want to pay half of it 15 days prior to, and then 3 days prior to that, pay the other half. You made 1 payment, but you made 2 payments according to the system.
According to the system. And when you do that, okay, so on your due date, when you have your due date, they've already factored your utilization. So you want to do it before that due date, 3 days before, so that they haven't pulled that utilization. So if you max it out, as long as you pay it 3 days before that due date, they're not going to know that you went up to 100%. They're going to still think it's 30.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Yeah. And what our services mainly do, we have a
Credit restoration.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
flagship.
Yeah.
It's our flagship product.
Yeah, we have a team of legal experts that can help remove things legally off your credit. You know, we're not saying the credit's not yours, the debt's not yours. You own the debt, but there are some things that when the creditors look at it and it's still showing that you own the debt, it hurts you tremendously. So if those out there, we can just tell people for free, like if you have credit cards, if you have a $500 limit, $1,000 limit, you want to keep that definitely under 25%, maybe. We want to push it 10%.
But you know how we
Explain that.
It's hard to keep
Yeah.
it under 10%, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so that's just kind of about where we are. And I'll let you let Mo talk about a little more. And then I'm talking this real quickly because, like I said, we got people that we about to meet with when we came to Nevada. She's like, hey, they want us back on. I said, okay, great. We weren't thinking about 3-hour time difference.
Sorry.
Yeah. And so those are some of the things that can help. But the biggest thing, if people want to, those negative items on your credit report, we can remove repos,
bankruptcies, and bankruptcies stay on for 10 years, but they can be removed.
Really?
Yeah.
One of the other things is that people are afraid to attack their credit because you know what? One of the things I heard is that they say you got to write a letter.
Right.
And so you tell someone they got to write a letter, they don't want to write a letter.
Right.
You want help with that?
Well, a lot of people, most people ask me, can do we have to pay for the service? Technically and theoretically, you don't. But 90% of the people that approaches themselves, they don't have the wording, the terminology, and they won't see it through. We can make it happen. So I'm letting my wife step out.
I've got to step out.
She's gonna step out.
I'm gonna step out with the camera, and he's gonna talk to these people. Okay, so I'm sorry.
Hey, that's our life. We multitask.
That's our life.
That's our life. That's what we do.
Yes, ma'am. So, okay, so it is a service that you can do, but you've got to have the verbiage, and that's where we come in. That's where our legal team comes in, and you got to have the time to put into it. And so most people don't have that, and they start, and then they have just a domino of negative things. Like, so once you start disputing and then they start coming back with stuff, you got to have the right response, and if you don't, well, then there it is still, and you don't get it off, and now you're even more upset because you thought you were trying to get it removed and it didn't happen.
All right, now let me ask you something.
Okay.
Is your service one set price, or does the price differ based on?
No, sir, it's one set price. It's $89 fee a month.
All right, and that's for as long as you need.
As long as you need the service. I tell my clients with the worst situation, no longer than 6 months. If you listen to me and you trust the system, you trust the process, and you listen. Because I'll tell you, I had a client the other day just doing things on her own, and I said, I've asked you not to do that, and she was upset with me. I said, I've done my part. You have to listen. Like, you cannot just take things in your own hands. You've got to listen and follow the blueprint. And if you do that, you probably won't need 6 months, even with the worst credit. But we say 6 months to get them the results they need.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you something. Do people have to read something within that period of time? Because they say the best. if you want a secret and you want to keep it a secret, put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
Because
They won't read it.
People won't read it. All right. So is there a lot of reading
No,
involved?
sir, I coach my people. So
Okay.
we coach them. So they sign up for the services, and our team disputes because legally I can never sign anybody's name, and there's not one client that I know that's worth me going to jail for.
Yeah, I know that's right.
So
That's right.
so they have to sign their own letters. Like they have to have a little bit of responsibility, but we coach them and we teach them how to manage their debt. We have a debt pay down system, and we have how to pay your credit. We
Mhm.
teach them how to maintain good credit and develop good credit habits. And that's going to be the key, that while we're removing negative items, building and restoring their score and increasing
Okay.
their score.
Okay.
So,
I love you said something about, Tanya, go right ahead.
I'm sorry. Some people still have student loan debt. Is that something that can also come off of your? People
Okay,
still have
so let me
student loan debt. Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to answer this, and then I've got to step back in here, and then I'll have to come right back, and I apologize for that. We were just in the middle of a whole presentation. So student loan is good debt, contrary to what everybody believes. And I will tell you that if they have them in deferment, and like I know most people have home ownership as their guide, they need to have some kind of payment established. It's good debt unless they're bad. Now, if they've been they've been late, we can remove that negative ding. But I want to get rid of my student loans. You don't want to get rid of them because your credit age, that weighs into like, hey, you had that when you were 18. That's a good debt. That shows the people that, she has this debt. She's done what she was supposed to do. Even if it was in deferment, it's what you were supposed to do. You didn't let it go bad. But you need to have some kind of payment established if you want to become a homeowner. Because if not, they're going to take 1% of that loan and factor it into your debt to income ratio.
Really?
Yes.
1% of that student loan.
The total amount. So you want to have a payment established so that we can put it in writing. And so I can hold you, like put you on hold for just a minute and come back, or I can call back in. Is that what's his best?
Put us on hold.
I'll be right back.
Mute.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Well,
Hey,
also,
look, I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting something out of this. Tanya, what about you?
absolutely, because I try to pay my stuff a little early. But if I would have known that I could pay, 15 days in advance, because, I got one credit card that I really want to get paid off. And so if I knew I could pay 15 days in advance and then 3 days, then it would look like, what did they say? Two. It was two.
It looked like two payments, but it's actually one.
Right.
Yeah, so you're paying half 15 days early, then half 3 days early.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to work that in on this last credit card to see if I can get it down faster, and whatever it does to the system, yes, I want, because I want to continue to have a good score. And then what we learned last week is that even though, like I said, I trust Credit Karma, right? But when you're pulling something for a mortgage company, they're looking at something totally different. And so you can think that you have this great score of Credit Karma, but that's not what they're looking at. That's not what the mortgage company is looking at. They're looking at some other score called a FICO, and that can be with somebody else, whatever that was last week. So, I want all scores to look great, when whoever pulls the report, that, if I'm trying to get to an 840 or 800 or whatever I'm trying to get to, that every place that's pulling it, it's going to look that way. So whatever method is possible, that's what I want to do. It's taken a long time to get to a certain level, and now you want to keep it, and I'm training my children not to be in debt, so that was that's a lesson all by itself, but they got to have credit of some sort. So we helped my son get some furniture in his name so that he'd have, some type of credit. And then, he paid it off early. So that was good. We also, so now he has a pretty good credit score for a 24-year-old young man, So he can probably walk in and get an automobile on his own just because of his income and his credit score. And that's what we're trying to do. Just make sure that when you're starting out, you start out right, and don't create the bad things that we have all done, but keep it all positive so we don't have to always call on Miss Morris to bail us out, you know?
Yeah.
But
Hey,
they'll never
now
go
look.
out of business because there's so many of us with this bad credit, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
you can make more than your minimum payment. I strongly encourage that. If your minimum payment,
I
like
always
minimum payment,
encourage
be
that.
like $15 and $12 and stuff like that, man, you'd be paying that thing forever. You need to do something about that. What do you recommend? What do you recommend, Mo?
I recommend, honestly, for you to pay what you spent.
Huh?
My rule of thumb is if you don't have it in the bank, can you hear me?
Yep. Say that again.
Okay. I recommend that if you don't have it on that debit card, don't use it on the credit card. That is just my recommendation. Hey, you want to pay that right away. 3 days before that due date, go ahead and pay it, and I understand that life happens. So if life happens, then I would say at least pay half of what you have spent.
Right. We got a question here from Tanya Young, and she says, one of my daughters recently asked me about getting a credit card to begin creating good credit. What do you recommend to her?
Well, if her daughter is younger than 18, I don't recommend it. But I would always say, like say my daughter's going to college. She's 18 years old. I'm going to add her as an authorized user onto my credit card. She doesn't have control over that. I have control over that. She's just an authorized user. So when I use it, I pay the bill. Her score goes up. When she graduates in 4 years, she'll have an 850.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't recommend giving it to them because this is how I got in this business. When I went to college at 17, they put that credit card application in my bag, and honey, I went to town. Like everyone that they gave me, I took it. And so I don't recommend giving an 18-year-old an $1,000 limit or a $5,000 limit, but I do recommend putting them as an authorized user and controlling what's going on. Now, if they're adults, then they got to start somewhere. But if you do it and set them up properly, when they graduate from college, they'll have an 850.
Hey, you know what? There's people that's in bankruptcy and they really need help with maybe getting that thing removed. When you say you could get that bankruptcy off their credit report,
yes,
could you talk about that a little more?
I can't go in detail because that's in our services.
Okay.
But I can tell you that there are ways to get them off. They're going to tell you because that's their job. Oh, that, your score will go up and it won't come off for 10 years. But that's what they want you to believe. And they said that your score is going to go up. It's not. When it discharges, it's not going to go up. It might go up 5 points. But, if you got a 500 or 505, it's not going to help you.
No.
Right.
They tell you that. But there are ways that it can be removed.
Okay. Very good.
Hey, look, that right there is enough for the service, right?
Yes, sir.
That's
enough for the service.
Who were in bankruptcy, because who is it? Flo just said, I need their services. So
I've got a client that had 2 removed. She filed bankruptcy twice. And they were on her report. And she texted me and was like, Mo, you're not going to believe this, but both of them. I said, no, I do believe it because I knew what our services offered. But she sent me that screenshot. And yes, it said bankruptcy removed. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tanya,
you have another question about the 21-year-old.
She said she had a 21-year. What do you think about a secured credit card?
Secured credit cards are good and they do the same thing. But if you can get an unsecured, if she doesn't have any credit, Tanya, I don't know. Tanya, I guess you're listening. If you would reach out to me on Facebook, just Facebook message me. It is just, I am Mo Morris after Facebook. I can send you some links that would help you pre-qualify her. And then I'll just give you some good advice. If she can get a regular credit card, if she can get an unsecured, just get it unsecured. She just got to be responsible and pay it. But I'll be happy to send her the pre-approval links. It won't be at it won't have any effect on her credit score. She just needs to do the pre-approval and pick one.
Very good.
Hey, listen, folks. Mo, I'm gonna let me tap that in there. What is your Facebook?
I am Mo Morris. That's it.
All one word.
All one word. I am Mo Morris.
I am Mo Morris.
Yes, sir. That's on Instagram and that's on Facebook. It's on Twitter too, but I don't use it. I just I can't. That's for them young people.
Okay.
Well, they need you too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I am Momo. All right, and I'm hoping, Julius, you could run that across, or I guess I have to put it in the regular comment section. Let me do that.
So before people come to you, Mo, what do they need to have in their hands?
They need to know what affects what is on their credit that's affecting their score. You know, I have people reach out and say, I just need to fix my credit. And I say, well, what is it on your credit that's affecting your score? And they say they don't know. I can't help you because I can't do a credit analysis. Remember, I'm not a financial institution. I can't pull it, but I can do an analysis by what you tell me. But if you can't tell me anything, I absolutely cannot help you. So, because sometimes, and I say to them, I like to ask questions because I need to know if you need my services. Some people really don't need restoration. They just need a little guidance. Like they don't have credit cards. You gotta have some kind of credit card, and you gotta use it in order to help increase your score. But people don't know that if they don't know what's affecting them. So if they don't, I make all my payments and my score's just not where I think it should be. Well, if you can't tell me anything else, that's all you got. You haven't looked at your credit report. And so the credit card is not accurate.
Mo, you went silent.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
there you go.
Did you hear? Okay, so they got to know what's on their credit.
All right, so we kind of lost you there for a moment. You may have hit a mute button. Are you on your phone? You're on your phone. All right, you may have hit the mute button. You may have muted yourself by accident.
I think I covered up my speaker. Sometimes I
that happens. Okay, all right, because you're giving a wealth of information. So we have another question: is the price the same for bankruptcy for someone that was in bankruptcy? So it's all the same. Hey, listen, folks. I don't know about you, but if you've been in bankruptcy and that thing is on your credit report, and you can get it taken off. Now, they're still responsible for their bills. Yes. All right. It's just that the negative stigma of bankruptcy is taken off. Can the bankruptcy court then, or the companies, can they have it put back on a person's credit?
No, sir. Once it is removed, with our company, it is not. You cannot put it back on. And remember now, with that bankruptcy, I'm trying to be very careful in my words. They have to prove the debt. They have to verify it. And so there's a process that they have to go through. And if they don't complete that process, it has to come off. It will come off.
All right. Hey, listen, I'm not going to let her go into all that because she has a paid service. Now we're getting some free information. All right, we're getting some free information here. All right, so I wanted to interrupt you intentionally because I want people to reach out to you. Tell us, because last time we only got, we didn't get all the information like we wanted. We got the Facebook, I am Mo Morris, and that's on Facebook. But what about a phone number? How can people reach you? If they want, hey, I want your service, how can they reach you other than Facebook?
Yes, sir. If you want to, my office number is 912-421-5055. After hours.
912-421-5055. 5055. All right.
Yes, sir. Now, and after hours at 5, because I know that most people go to work after hours. If they need me, they can call or message me at 912-242-2627.
And that's for after hours.
Yes, sir.
All right, say that number one more time.
912
242
2627.
26. All right, listen. I think you're going to be getting some calls. Now, there's folks that last week after you got off, I want to drop this in there because we're into this 48 minutes already. I threw something out last week about people that want to move some money, and we have a company you could put it that you put money in. It has to be $10,000 minimum to open. It's a 10-year term period, and you'll get a 25% signing bonus. If you want that information, you better call me because that thing won't be forever. My number is 91. Well, it's on the screen rolling across. So I want to make sure you remember that, folks, if you were with us last week. All right. But now let's get back to this real quick.
We had another question.
My oldest daughter, who's almost 30, and this is from Tanya. So Tanya, did you write down her number? I hope you wrote down her number. My oldest daughter, who's almost 30, was recently told that it's better to use her credit card to make most of her purchases in order to build up her credit score. What do you say?
I agree.
All right.
But don't use it if you can't pay the bill.
Don't use it if you can't pay. See, that's the part that they leave off. Don't use it if you can't pay the bill. Listen, I worked in credit collections, and I was what we called a hard-nosed credit collector. All right, I was actually offered to open up a credit collection office for a company, and I turned it. They didn't want to pay me what I was worth, so I turned it down. But listen, that's one of the main things we ran into.
Yeah,
you know, and I tell people all the time, if you can't make the pay, you need to have whatever amount of money somewhere set aside that you could literally pay the whole thing off if you want. But if you want to build the credit, then you have to pay it for at least 3 to 6 months so they can see some type of history, some type of accountability. All right. But if you can't afford to pay that thing, don't use it.
Don't do it. Just pay cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I saw that Tanya asked, is there a consultation? Yes, consultation is free. As long as you just give me a call, reach out to me, your consultation is free. That determines if they need my services or not.
What did you say? Consultation is free?
Yes, sir.
That's better than a doctor's office.
Enrolling people in a program that they don't need. I want to make sure that they need our services.
So in other words, let me tell you what I'm getting out of this, folks. Quentin and Mo, they're not taking advantage of anybody. They are literally trying to help people. They're literally trying to help people. Because believe it or not, you are your credit. You know, you have your credit tells your personality to most businesses.
That's right.
All right. And so you are your credit. If you don't have enough, whatever, gumph to say, hey, look, I need to be responsible and I'm going to take responsibility for my actions, then there's just something that's misplaced, but it's not with them, it's with you. You know, and I heard a lot of people say, well, you know, the white man this and the white man that and no. You may have gotten that card from somebody that was not a person of color, but they didn't put a knife in your back and say, go ahead and spend more than what you make. All right, enough of my ramping and raging here.
Well, Mo, can you, as we get ready to close, can you provide us again with your information so that if people are interested in getting someone to help them repair their credit, that they can reach out to you and Quentin real soon?
Yes. Yeah. You can contact us at Morris Financial Solutions, 912-421-5055. And you can text us, you can call us on that number. I know that a lot of people are, you know, that's a hard thing to share with people. So text messaging, it works. We will respond to your text message. And then if it's after hours in the evening, you can call or message me at 912-242-2627, or you can reach out on all social media platforms at I am Mo Morris.
Hey, let me ask you something. How long have you guys been doing this?
About a year.
About a year? Man, that's powerful, and you learn so much. This is an awesome situation, and let me say something. This is needed very much in the African American community, and let me say in the Black community.
That's right.
And this community right here,
yes, sir.
In Usum community, I don't care which way you say it. We need it in this community. I have a very close friend who's one of our guests. Who's also probably part of the same organization you are, because it's the same thing, but he's in Connecticut. And He's doing great things up there, helping people. This is phenomenal. Folks, I don't care where you are. Mo, give us that number one more time. So I just want to I don't want any excuse for folks. Well, I didn't get the number. She said it too fast. No, write it down. All right, write it down. All right, you got our number running across. There it is, running across. There it is. All right, take a snapshot of that thing, a screenshot or something. All right, I'm not fussing. But listen, you and your husband are great. You're doing a great service for the community, and we really appreciate it. Tanya, what were you getting ready to say?
Aren't you in training now? That's where you are out in Nevada?
No, that I went to a training last week. I was at a conference. No, this week we are on, as what the young people say, a vacation, and we are in Vegas.
All right.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Okay.
Thank you so much for taking time to be with us today. We truly
thank you so much for having us.
Taking time on your vacation.
Yes, ma'am.
To be with us, and you know, and that's what you can do when you got your money in order, right?
Because I work
right.
from my phone. I mean, that's I'm still working, and I'm still. I mean, I was signing up clients yesterday, and I was getting on the airplane, and I said, "Hold on, I got to make this. You know, send them the sign up information." And he was like, "Right now." yeah. So I'm still working as I'm here.
Well, thank you again.
Wow, powerful.
So much.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Well,
and one of these days, I have to have you and my friend in Connecticut have you all meet. You know, because he's African American, you guys African American. You know, it's time that Black businesses come together and cooperate and come together and help each other and help the community. All right. So this is a very important time in our history. So thank you, Mo, for being with us. Any last words?
Thank you so much for having us.
Any last words?
Say that again.
Any last words?
Well, it's just so important for us to know how our credit affects us. So if you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out. Don't let money scare you. I am here for my people. I try to take care of my folks. I want to see my people thriving. So give us a call. Let's talk. Let's chat, and we'll see what we can do to help you.
Wow, powerful. All right. Well, hey, we don't want to hold you up. You go on your vacation, girl. You go ahead on your vacation. Thank you so much for joining us again. And Tanya Gura Young, I hope you got something out of this. Thank you so much for being one of our guests. Hey, listen, guys, you should share this broadcast with your friends. You should share this broadcast with your friends. All right. If you don't think this is relevant, we are on All Things Relevant Media. All right. And if this information is not helping you, then something's wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with us. I'm just saying. Now, or maybe you've already arrived. Well, if you've already arrived, then you help somebody else. Let's share that information. Get somebody else here. Maybe they won't listen to you because you've already arrived, but maybe they'd listen to us. Maybe they'd listen to Mo. All right. Sometimes you need an outside person to come in who has no family ties with you, no friendship with you. All right. And then they'll say the same thing you said. All right. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I love it. This is your podcast, people.
Absolutely.
And we're here because of you. So we thank God for you. Woo! Boy, I'm getting all a little excited. You know I'm a pastor, right? So hey, look.
I didn't know that.
Pastors can preach in a moment. It only takes a minute.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm married to one. I know.
We want to thank everyone that joined us by Facebook and by
YouTube.
We appreciate you so much for joining in. I appreciate my family for getting on and supporting.
I thought I saw Mom get on.
Yep, Mom did get on. She said she's sorry she was late, but she was there. And so, you know, we'll be here again next week on Friday at 1:00 on All Things Relevant. We ask you to do what, Anthony? Like us.
Like us on Facebook. Just in case you can't spell that word, LIKE. Like us. Like us'em.
Like us on
Let me
Facebook
stop.
and on YouTube, and make sure
Yeah.
that you get a notification. But we'll be back on next week, Friday at 1:00.
Next
Thank
week,
you.
Friday at 1:00. We want to thank you so much. And remember, guys, if you this is serious, I was serious about that signing bonus is 25%.
Okay.
All right. Minimum to open the account is 10,000, but they will give you a 25% bonus. You got to let it sit 10 years. All right. But it's going to keep accumulating massive compounding interest. And I'm telling you, Black folks, jump on the bandwagon because everybody else is.
All right.
Everybody else is. They're taking a. It's like somebody handed out candy, you know. So pool your money together if you have to. All right. We love you guys. We've got to run. Okay. Come back next week. And thank you once again for being with us. Like us on Facebook. And don't forget, if you're in the general area, remember this name, Julius Hall. He's running for mayor in Garden City. Vote for that man. He's the one that created All Things Relevant Media. If he's not reaching out to the community, I don't know who is. All right. So if you're in that neck of the woods, as we would say, if you're in that neck of the woods, just remember him. All right. Thanks again for being with us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Love you, Mo.
Love you. Bye.